Okay then, Raiders, we are back. We've got loads to go over today. As yesterday, we received the development documentary coming from Embark Studios with regards to how Ark Raiders was supposed to originally look and what we could potentially be receiving inside of the game moving forward. On top of that, server issues persist to keep happening as the servers went down just yesterday, and community managers have responded to some stuff inside of the Discord. We've also got to take a look at what's coming over the next month as we've received all of the content now from November. Looking into December, it looks pretty damn intriguing. We've got loads to break into today, so with that being said, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, GamerSupps, the company that offer esports athletes and gamers alike with the most effective and healthy energy drink option, and we've now got our own sugar-free tinned alternatives, links in the description. Use code CloudPlays at checkout for a cheeky discount, and if you want to get your hands on the free copy of the game, or if you've already got it, then an array of Raider tokens instead, then it's very simple. Head down into the comments and put in any colored love heart that you wish. We've already had tons of winners, so a massive shout out to all of those. If you want to get involved with it, just hit that love heart in the comment section. It'll enter you in. We'll announce that in the next few days. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what's happening right now inside of Ark Raiders. So starting it off, we actually received the documentary yesterday coming from Embark Studios with regards to what the game was supposed to look like and how it was actually designed. And it opened the door to quite a few things. One thing that we didn't realize inside of the game was supposed to be there, or at least originally, was vehicles. Yep, there was original concepts for vehicles inside of Ark Raiders. Now, this hasn't written it completely off the board. It would be extremely overpowered to be able to utilize it in a lot of the maps, but it could potentially be something dotted around the map that people could utilize. Whether it'll ever make its way into it or not, will you let me know in the comments what you think, but this speedster looks absolutely incredible, and the way that they've designed it looks amazing. On top of that, though, we also had thrust boosters attached to your feet that was originally supposed to be in there, which would essentially thrust you into the air, whether it was an attachment that was originally built as an actual item that you could find, or if it was built into all Ark Raiders boots, we have no real idea. And whether it will actually come through into the game at some stage, again, is definitely worth looking at. If they've already designed it, the potential for these sorts of things are always on the table. The way that development works is generally they build a load of stuff, they take some things out, they rework it, and while they're reworking it, it's essentially just a concept. So I'm intrigued. There was other things such as this right here, which was our first look at a ginormously tall and floating Ark. Not only that, but in the same scene, we also saw that Ark Raider actually had a poncho on. If that's something that you guys think would be a really good addition to the game, do let me know. I know that a lot of people who are loving the poncho look, so it could be something that we could see in-game at some point in the future. Not only that, but there was a lot of detail on this Ark, so much so that it does lead you to think that it could potentially be making its way in at some stage or another. It's definitely worth the watch, and it was a really, really good episode for finding Ark Raiders and how it was actually designed and developed. I always love listening to the way that development teams lean into that. So a massive shout out to Embark for providing us with episode 1. I can't wait for the next 2. Moving on from that, though, we are starting to see a lot more server issues happening. A big one happened just late last night. As you can see here, Embark Oscar actually stated that they were aware of the server issues currently affecting the game, and the team are in full force actively investigating. This took the servers completely down, and it took hundreds of thousands of players offline all in one go. Now, thankfully, it did not last too long, but around 45 minutes later, we received this message from Embark Oscar stating that we're recovering from the previous server issues, and you should all be able to make your way topside shortly. Thank you for your patience and bearing with us, and thank you for playing Ark Raiders. The one thing I will say about this game is that they are extremely quick in rectifying and fixing problems. The only thing that we're seeing right now is a lot of bugs, glitches, and issues inside of the game that they have yet to work around, some of which are relatively game-breaking, while still actively working on balanced decisions for weapons. Probably wasn't the greatest choice, but they are relatively quick at getting a lot of things sorted, and I'd say that next week we'll probably likely see a very big one for the glitches and bugs, as we know that they are currently working on them. Another thing that they are working on, though, based on some communications coming from the community manager, Bailey, states right here about the AMD issues. Some people were saying that they weren't even able to play the game, and Bailey responded to them, stating that, not sure if you've been informed or heard about this before, but we were informed with the AMD issues. Embark is in contact with them directly, and it's something on their end, and they've been looking for a potential fix. We just don't really have an ETA. So if you have obviously walked into the problems, you are running on AMD, just know it is an AMD problem and it is likely to be fixed at some stage soon. Unfortunately, no ETA for that one though. And we need to take a look at future content coming to the game. We obviously saw the 2025 roadmap come up, and so far they have held to their promises. We've currently run through the entirety of the Northline update, which is everything from November, including the new Salamontis map, the community unlock event, new arcs, gameplay items and quests, and now we await December. As to when this will actually start issuing inside of December, keep your ears to the floor as we'll make sure we bring you all of the details on that one. But over December we'll have the Cold Snap update, where the snowfall map conditions for that Christmassy feel. We'll also have the Flicker and Flames event, Expedition Departure window, new Raider deck, and new quests on top of that as well. Now, all of this has been extremely good since the Northline update has actually arrived, and hopefully we can get the same cool experience coming from the Cold Snap update. Me personally, I'm extremely intrigued to know what the Flickering Flames event is. The community unlock event was pretty damn cool, and I'd love to know what the Flickering Flames event is actually going to entail, so I'm going to be doing some digging around over the next week. Hopefully we'll manage to find something a little bit before the release of it. Now, on top of that though, we've got to take a look into the Reddit, as you guys have been speaking about a lot of very interesting factors and a lot of really good opinions with regards to a lot of things, and even a hidden Easter egg that was found. This first one right here was, what if we could carry and extract knocked out teammates for a huge benefit? Lore-wise, we don't kill anyone, we just are knocking people out. But then, how are the bodies rescued and brought back to Speranza? Now, obviously, the way that the lore actually works is that we have the flare system. The flare will go off. It essentially tells the people down in Speranza exactly where we are. They then come and collect our bodies, as we are only knocked out, not murdered. But what if we could actually get that sorted and save the players' items so they could get 50% of what they looted? If they spectate till extraction and just continue through. I personally think this would be absolutely incredible. Not only that, but the clips that would come from this would just absolutely explode online. And we all know how games work. They definitely go further with more exposure. Things like this, such as being able to carry a knocked teammate out, would be absolutely incredible. Now, the only thing with that is obviously use of weapons and how that would actually operate. I don't know if you'd actually be able to have use of your weapon. So being able to put down players to be able to continue shooting, to pick them up again, but them having them still bleed out just probably at a slower rate would be pretty damn cool to me. Let me know in the comment section whether you guys agree or not. Moving in from that, though, we've also got to talk about something really, really large in the game right now, and this is probably one of my biggest pet peeves about Arc Raiders as far as joining into games. This one states right here, joining 15 minutes late on a looted map is worse than any experience I've had in PvP. Now, this for me personally is an absolute nightmare. I obviously do these to go in and get as much loot as I possibly can. Don't get me twisted, I'm not alien to the PvP. I'm actually starting to enjoy the PvP a little bit more now, but I just want to obviously go in and get everything looted. Unfortunately, when you get put in halfway through a map and everybody else has got a shed ton of loot that they've managed to find, so many better weapons, so many better inputs, and then you come in with your loadout that you've brought in yourself, and then it just goes down completely south because you weren't able to upgrade anything throughout that run. For me personally, I think that you should only really be able to join midway through a game if you're coming in on a free loadout because you've got nothing to lose. But if you are coming in with a stacked loadout, it should be a new match every single time. I know that may make it a little bit harder to be able to actually get the matchmaking system working, but I'd be intrigued to see exactly how that would affect it. Let me know, are you guys sick of joining matches 15 minutes late while everything has been looted for you? Let me know via the comment section below. And moving on from that, we've got a cool little Easter egg that somebody managed to find over on the Reddit with regards to Nicolas Cage. I know I had to second guess it as well and had to take a deeper look into it. But yes, I thought originally this was photoshopped, and it's not. There is a Nicolas Cage Easter egg inside of the pod when you send yourself over towards Speranza. Before you put the hood over, take a look in the bottom left of your dials, and you can see right here that it actually says Nicolas Cage. A really good find and something that is hilarious, a proper dad joke, and for a lot of us here, we'll definitely appreciate it. Let me know in the comments though, did you see it before this post was actually posted up? I'm intrigued. And now we got to take a look at your top comments, as you guys had a lot to say about the last video where we were speaking about some bigger bug fixes. We finally got our hands on the Aphelion and we tested it out, and we spoke about the Great War that is essentially happening later on today at 7 p.m. CEST between streamers. people are taking this really seriously, man. It's making the game a little bit difficult to run in, especially if you don't want to operate in certain skins. If you know, you know. Let me know what team side you're on, or if you're just running this one completely solo. This first one right here is coming from Rids. It states they need to add more green and blue guns. Now, I do think that that would be a really good thing for them to do in the long term. I think right now there is enough there to be able to operate, and slowly adding them in would make it a little bit easier. Obviously, the reason for that is having more variety, right? At the moment, you kind of have a standard loadout that you enjoy the most, and having new weapons come into the fold would definitely make it a lot easier. This next one coming from Strider states, Ark is my enemy first, rats and backstabbers second, and then other raiders that shoot first, third. This is essentially the like mind of a nice Ark raider that's going in with the don't shoot mechanic and hoping that they don't die first. Unfortunately, right now, I probably wouldn't step foot on Stellamontis or on Bluegate, as it seems to be a little bit chaotic over there right now, but there is a lot of fun to be had as one of those raiders, and I love the fact that even though the streamers' collective point of this giant great war is such a big factor, so many people are just not siding on anything and are just being completely neutral. And finally, this one right here from Chad Klatz states, the perk a little extra on the green side of the tree makes acquiring more rubber ducks much easier. Now, obviously, the rubber duck narrative is blowing up big time, and if you go down to certain areas, you'll be able to find these rubber ducks extremely quickly, and then heading over to your raider den, you'll find that they just start appearing more and more. But don't forget that your raider den is fully interactable, so it won't just focus on the ducks overall. As you can see on my screen right now, the weapons loadout, you can see right there that the Aphelion is actually sat at the top because it's in my inventory, so that is adaptable, and there are so many light bulbs because I've just been holding on to them. I have no idea why, but I just for some reason hold on to a lot of light bulbs. The cat beds get knocked around, so there is a lot that you can do with your raider den. I would quite like the ability to be able to place things in certain places, though. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, if you collect an array of ducks and probably focus solely on the ducks, you'll see that they are there a lot more. Unfortunately, though, that's all we got time for today. It's been an interesting time to be a Ark raider right now, and having the game go the way that it has with the popularity that is stemming upon is extremely interesting. Now the Great War is actually going on this weekend, and they are going to be revolving that around Spaceport. So if you don't want to be involved with that, don't want the toxicity of the teams against teams, then I would probably steer away from Spaceport today and go and venture around the other maps, and you'll probably have a bit more of a better time. For those of you guys getting involved in the Great War, let me know what side you're fighting on and whether you'll be diving in for the actual war over on Spaceport later on 7 p.m. CEST. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate all of your faces. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.